Subaru, Toyota, and Mazda commit to new engine development for the electrification era, toward carbon neutrality. California launching pilot program to charge drivers for miles driven.
Trump attacks devil judge for guilty verdict, practically begging for incarceration, expert says. Scotland's top law officer urged to pursue investigation into Donald Trump's Scottish resorts after historic criminal conviction. In the U.S., 8 Senate Republicans vow to oppose all Biden nominees' Democratic legislation. Donald Trump says U.S. is a fascist state and trial judge a devil. Republican lawmakers react with fury to Trump verdict and rally to his defense, as Johnson urges Supreme Court to step in on Trump verdict. Biden calls Trump response to guilty verdict reckless, dangerous at White House.
Russian ministries proposed to Putin to remove Taliban from terrorist list, announced diplomatic envoy. U.S. lawmaker tells Taiwan weapons are coming. China drills show deterrence need. Iran's near bomb-grade uranium stock rose. Talks stall, IAEA reports say. China could benefit from rise of extreme left and right parties in Europe elections, claimed in a report. In Germany, fans celebrate Turkish champions and sing Foreigners Out, and D'Agostino's song will not be allowed during Oktoberfest. Spying arrests send chill through Britain's thriving Hong Kong community. Trump attacks Biden. Hush money judge in Memorial Day post. Human scum. RNC accuses Secret Service of not addressing convention security concerns. Reportedly, Trump pressures Republicans to pass a law to keep him out of jail forever. Hunter Biden used Sandy Hook shooting memorial to coordinate meeting between Dad Joe, Chinese biz partner, claimed in the documents. Less than 1/5 of Canadians support anti-Israel protest encampments at universities, and anti-Semitism is a significant problem on campus, McGill and Concordia admit. University of Toronto seeking injunction to end encampment by pro-Palestinian protesters. Canada pledges temporary visas for 5,000 Gaza residents related to citizens.
In the UK, Rishi Sunak rejects claim he plans to move to California if he loses election, and UK's Sunak proposes tax cuts for pensioners in new election pledge. Starmer to say he's changed Labour as party, rules out raising income tax or national insurance. It has been commented as Brexit fails, and Conservatives are set to lose in the UK after 14 years.
Trump told donors he will crush pro-Palestinian protests, deport demonstrators. Tlaib claims U.S. voters will make Biden pay for defending genocidal maniac Netanyahu. Vanity Fair France apologizes for removing Palestinian pin from image of Guy Pearce at Cannes.
Argentina's Milei fires cabinet chief as reform bill stalls. Argentine court orders Milei government to distribute held-up food aid. Argentina to collaborate with El Salvador in adopting Bitcoin, claimed in a report. Macron tells Germans, let's double the EU budget.
Philippines, Brunei sign deal on closer maritime cooperation, with eye on Beijing in South China Sea. In China and Africa relations, Xi Jinping vows to help Equatorial Guinea diversify economy away from heavy oil and gas reliance. Thailand aims to become first Southeast Asian BRICS member.
Japan sets up parliamentary group to probe UFO sightings, move research into mainstream. In Brazil, Chamber approves project that allows shooting clubs less than 1 kilometer from schools. Colombian Congress votes to ban bullfighting. In the U.S., D.C. Zoo to receive a new pair of giant pandas from China.
Donald Trump fires back at wacko former actor Robert De Niro, who called him a clown. Miley I's new controversial phrase, people are going to die of hunger, and they're going to do something to not die. In Italy, Meloni
FBI investigating US eBay sales of treasures suspected of being stolen from British Museum. 51,000 lifts in Hong Kong not fitted with voltage-dip devices that cut risk of becoming trapped, officials reveal. Pope says in closed meeting that there is already too much bickering in seminars, says Italian press.
Strawberry truck overturns on San Jose freeway, creates jam. In Brazil, elderly woman adopts a frog that came into her house every day, names her Sofia Loren, and dresses her in custom-made clothes in state of Rio Grande do Norte. Homeless sent out of Edinburgh to make room for Taylor Swift fans.
UK ambassador to Mexico fired after pointing gun at colleague. FT reports. Man sentenced for forging Purdue professor's signatures to change his grades. Balenciaga teams with Alipay on $650 t-shirt, prompting social media ridicule.
In the U.S., retired Navy four-star admiral and business executives arrested for bribery scheme. Former Deutsche Bank investment banker gets 41 months prison in crypto fraud. Canadian serial killer Robert Pickton, who brought victims to pig farm, is dead after prison assault.
Junk from a SpaceX Dragon trunk may have crashed into a Canadian farmer's field. North Korean rocket carrying its second spy satellite explodes in midair, and Japan issues North Korea missile alert. Take refuge.
Weapon permits issued to citizens of Russia, Belarus. Sudan's army deepens ties with Russia. Iran's civil war rages. Rio is the 7th most dangerous city in the world. Belo Horizonte, 47th, and Brasilia, 69th.
Shrapnel from Israeli strike may have ignited fuel tank near Rafah, claimed in a report, and diplomats say UN Security Council to hold emergency meeting after deadly Rafah strike. Israeli, Egyptian forces exchange fire. Egyptian soldier killed. EU mulls Rafah mission. Next diplomatic steps after talks with Arab counterparts. An Irish foreign minister says EU mulling sanctions on Israel if it defies ICJ ruling on Rafah.
Report claims Japanese carmaker Toyota set to end massive Olympic sponsorship deal.
Kiev says talks on France sending military instructors to Ukraine are ongoing. Poland to restrict movements of Russian diplomats, Moscow promises retaliation. Baltic officials say they could send troops to Ukraine without waiting for NATO if Russia scores a breakthrough, report. Amazon Fresh to cut grocery prices by as much as 30% to bring back inflation-battered customers. Wall Street reverts to 100-years-old stock settlement system. U.S. economic growth will eclipse China's by 2031, and the transformation Beijing needs for revival may take several decades, if not longer, top demographer says.
Japan spots China's new spy, strike drone for first time over waters north of Okinawa. China wraps up Atlantic deep-sea expedition as the U.S. looks on with suspicion. Expulsions of Chinese students spread confusion from Yale to UVA. Israel Land Authority orders UNRWA to evacuate Jerusalem premises within 30 days for lease violations. Israel says seized control of key area of Gaza's border with Egypt awash in smuggling tunnels.
Third U.S. Reaper drone goes down in Yemen, according to Houthi images. Sweden to donate $1.23 billion in military aid to Ukraine. New York Times reports that Pentagon opens ammunition factory to keep arms flowing to Ukraine. German inflation edges up, as do real wages. In the UK, junior doctors call 5 days strike just before election. Samsung under investigation after 2 workers exposed to radiation, and Samsung Workers Union announces first ever strike for chipmaker. Luxury EV company Lucid lays off 400 workers after raising $1 billion. Toyota sales, out but fall on Prius recall, dip in Japan, China. A month ago, Toyota recalls Prius cars, halts orders due to faulty door switches. Chinese Tesla rival BYD says its new hybrid cars can go 1,250 miles without stopping for gas or charging.
Stellantis CEO says $25,000 Jeep EV coming to the U.S. very soon. The 2025 BMW M3 Competition xDrive now makes 523 HP. Toyota may adopt BYD's DMI hybrid tech in China, report says. A report claims Toyota Supra and BMW Z4 to be discontinued in 2026. Alfa Romeo to ditch famous offset number plates due to EU rule change. Great Wall Motor closes European headquarters, lays off all employees. North Korea fires missile barrage toward its eastern waters days after failed satellite launch, and North Korea flies 260 feces-filled balloons across border to the south. U.S. Senator floats redeployment of tactical nuclear arms to Korea to strengthen deterrence. Southeast Asia tourism to China jumps after visa rules ease. Real-life Tony Stark, Larry Connor plans his next adventure to Titanic wreck, a year after OceanGate. Billions in African gold smuggled to UAE yearly, Swissaid says. The Met returns looted Golden Boy statue to Thailand. U.S. returns $80 million worth of stolen artifacts to Italy. Lost Caravaggio that was nearly sold for €1,500 goes on display at Prado in Madrid.
Medical device manufacturer Innovasis Incorporated and two top executives agree to pay $12 million to settle allegations of improper payments to physicians. China weighs record fine for PwC over Evergrande auditing work, and PwC faces defections by Hong Kong, mainland China clients amid concerns about China Evergrande accusations.
Japan spent record $62 billion to prop up yen in April. High inflation made finances worse for 65% of Americans last year. In Germany, it had been debated as soon 51% of gross wages for Social Security contributions. NVIDIA's suspected 2025 processor is now rumored to be built by Intel using off-the-peg ARM cores. Tesla investor accuses Elon Musk of $7.5 billion of insider trades. Russia says it's assembled a lithography machine, will make 350 nanometers chips soon.
Embracer boss mulls increasing the price of video games beyond $70. Lack of GTA 6 on PC announcement discussed, and GTA 7 mentioned by Take-Two CEO.
The pillars of the Yasukuni shrine were spray-painted with red paint, and the word toilet was written on them. A Chinese internet celebrity was filmed peeing in retaliation for nuclear wastewater discharge. Turkey signals a new military intervention in Syria if Kurdish groups hold local elections, and Iraq's PM says Baghdad mediating potential Syria and Turkey reconciliation.
Geneva International Auto Show closes shop after 119 years. In Spain, fine of $150 million to Ryanair, Velodia, Vueling and EasyJet for charging for cabin luggage and for forcing the ticket to be printed. Fenerbahce engages in talks with Jose Mourinho for head coach role.
Biden allows Ukraine limited use of U.S. arms to strike inside Russia, say U.S. officials. Berlin lets Ukraine use German weapons against targets in Russia after the U.S. also eases its stance. Ukraine signs security deal with Sweden, Norway, Iceland.
Fitch upgrades Ireland to AA, outlook stable. S&P cuts France's credit rating on deficit overshoot. In Canada, federal deficit soars to $50.9 billion for 2023 to 24 fiscal year.
Autodesk CFO replaced by board after accounting investigation, and Autodesk names board member as interim CFO, posts preliminary revenue above estimates. Boeing executives unlikely to be charged for 737 MAX crashes. Japan billionaire Maezawa cancels moon trip due to uncertainty over SpaceX rocket development. Thousands of NHS patients to access trials of personalized cancer vaccines by BioNTech SE. The world's first tooth regrowing drug has been approved for human trials. Sold to subsidize vasectomy reversals in bid to boost Korean births. Exercise spurs neuron growth and rewires the brain, helping mice forget traumatic and addictive memories. Ozempic cuts risk of chronic kidney disease complications, study finds.
In the U.S., former 3M scientist talks PFAS contamination, decades-long corporate cover-up. In South Korea, toxic substances 428 times above permitted limit found in children's shoes from China shine.
Chess in England, £4 and 10 pence in lawsuits. South Korea's Q1 fertility rate hits new low. March births drop to 10,000 range. Melinda French gates to donate $1 billion over 2 years for women's causes, including reproductive rights in U.S.
China lifts ban on 5 Australian beef exporters. JBS says China blocks beef from U.S. plant over detection of ractopamine. Giant tick spreads in northern Italy.
Subaru, Toyota, and Mazda commit to new engine development for the electrification era, toward carbon neutrality. California launching pilot program to charge drivers for miles driven.
ByteDance and Kuaishou see exodus of top AI experts to new ventures as China's unicorn boom looks for next OpenAI. Elon Musk plans to build world's most powerful AI supercomputer. Report claims Micron gets hit with a whopping $445 million damages bill after it was found liable for patent infringements. Chinese employee accused of stealing SK Hynix chip technology for Huawei.
Pakistani hackers target Make in India defense programs. Bayer and 12 other major drug companies caught up in Cencora data loss. Study shows relatively low number of superspreaders responsible for large portion of misinformation on Twitter, and the journal reports as the disinfluencers. How over 150 anonymous Irish accounts are swamping X with extreme views. Microsoft to remove WordPad, Cortana, and tips in an upcoming update. Apple says future iPads could feature landscape Apple logo. A Tesla owner says his car's self-driving technology failed to detect a moving train ahead of a crash caught on camera.
More than 300 million children a year face sexual abuse online, study suggests. Netflix CEO says AI won't replace writers or take your job. Jennifer Lopez says AI has been really scary. Ads are selling skincare I know nothing about, using my face covered in wrinkles.
Bosses are the largest dictators, says Nobel Peace Prize winner.
China's C919, after a year of domestic flights, preps its pitch for Western endorsement. Temu, Pinduoduo parent PDD trades near cheapest level ever as tech war. Alibaba rivalry deter investors. Tencent's WeChat Pay expands coverage to the Maldives amid rebound of Chinese holidaymakers heading overseas. China sets up third fund